Hello, hello, hello. How is everybody doing? How is everybody feeling? I honestly feel like collectively we are exhausted. It's like we're running this race like we see the rope, the what is it, banner of the finish line, and we're just like getting closer, and it's just going away, further away, further away, and we're just like no. Yeah. The world is heavy, and it is really sad, and there's always these mixed emotions that's going on. But if you're anything like me or other people who are so focused on self-love and taking care of yourself, this is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about it. Because you're not going to come across someone who's happy or someone who has that compassion for themselves. You're not going to come across people like that where they're not going to have compassion for other people. And although we're all not wired the same, there's so many things that go into it. This is also why mental health is important. Because if you're not getting the proper help, be it going to therapy and addressing whatever you need to address, be it taking care of yourself, whether it be your diet or exercise, whether it be your level of stress, there are so many factors to it. And this is one of the reasons why I'm passionate about self-care and self-love. Because if more of us did these things and did these types of practices, the world would be better. You would be better as an individual, and you would have the capacity to care for others as well. And there's so many more that goes into it. And honestly, that's not what this video is about. This video is actually going to sum up the 8 limbs of yoga, and today's limb is Samadhi. Now, when you do your own research, there's going to be many different definitions and explanations, because at the end of the day, even including myself, you're listening and you are reading information from someone else's perspective of how they understood it. And one thing I've learned while I was in college, I mean, for one, you want to question everyone and everything, even me, I'm just up here sharing my experience with practicing the 8 limbs of yoga and what it means to me. But in every video, if you notice, I would say do your own research, because at the end of the day, you're going to understand it in the way that you understand it. For me, Samadhi is kind of like what we practice when we do the asana practice, when you're in Shavasana and you're just lying there and you're being in the present moment and you're allowing yourself to be in the present moment. You're allowing yourself to feel. You are observing your feelings. You are observing your thoughts, but you're not putting any energy towards those thoughts. You're not really putting too much energy into what you're observing. You're just observing. And I know at times I find a state of peace. You're doing all the asana postures and you're moving physically, and then once you lie down and just relax, I know for me, and a lot of people also experience this, where you lie down and you just like, oh, I feel so much at peace. My body is now able to relax, my mind is able to relax, and you just feel so good because you had moved your body around. And that's how Samadhi is on a energetic level. When you're practicing the 8 limbs of yoga, a lot of people sometimes get this idea that something immediate has to happen and something so significant has to happen that it gives them like a wow factor. And my thing is, if you're looking for a wow factor, then in my opinion, you're practicing it all wrong. The whole point of practicing is to become a better person internally. You're becoming better from the inside out. And at the same time, I believe you want to make any practice, regardless if you're practicing yoga or you're a musician and you're practicing some musical instruments, or if you are a motivational speaker and you're practicing speaking in the mirror, however, and whatever you do, as long as it works for you, that's what I like to encourage. For example, especially when the world is just heavy and just sad and stressful, and me being very empathetic, like some other people as well, you take on these feelings and you don't mean to necessarily take them on, but you still feel the effects from everyone, not just how you feel, but you're feeling it from everywhere. And because we're being more exposed now, you're going to feel it even if you're just looking on the internet. You don't necessarily mean to absorb, but you're going to absorb it. So for me, if I start to feel that way, I like to focus on meditation and allowing myself to feel the feelings, to feel the stillness. And if I want to add movement to it and do a movement meditation and practice the asana limb, then I will bring that in. But I find that when I am starting to feel a little overwhelmed, that means for me, I need to slow things down. And I'm not looking for a specific goal, but I am doing the things that make me feel good. And if that just happens to happen as far as feeling a state of peacefulness or feeling just completely relaxed at the end, I allow it to happen, but I'm not necessarily looking forward to that happening. However, when I'm feeling a little heavy and whatnot, I feel like it's an indication for me to put these 8 limbs of yoga into practice. And this is why I like to say yoga's not just on the mat, it's off the mat. You can be going for a walk outside and allowing yourself to be open. So when that peacefulness does happen, you're open to it. You're not necessarily looking forward to it. I don't know if that makes sense or not, and that's the thing. Some of the stuff that I've read online, for example, there are some people, they're looking for something specific, like, am I going to float up in the air? Am I going to see someone? Is someone going to come for me? And my thing is, it's really a sense of feeling. It's a sense of feeling. And I'll give you another example. And comment below if you've ever experienced this. I remember back in my mid-20s, I was about 24, 25-ish, and I had just moved into a new cute junior studio apartment. Mind you, I've gone through a breakup. It was a toxic relationship, and I did talk about it in a few podcasts. You might have to scroll and look for it on Getting My Mojo Back, but I did talk about some of these situations. But anyhow, I got into the studio, and this was maybe, I think, like my second time living alone. I had at the time my 2 cats, and I'm unpacking and all that stuff, and I'm sleeping, and I had an outer body experience. I remember looking at myself in my physical form. I'm sleeping, and it looked like I had a smile on my face, like I'm just like, but myself, like my spirit was looking at my body. And the feeling I got from it was a state of peace, a state of blissfulness. And I didn't quite add that together at that time, because when I did research for outer body experiences, everyone on the internet had different types of meanings towards it. So again, this is why I say it's important to do your research, and you can gain a wider perspective, but ultimately you got to trust yourself enough to know what you are experiencing. And I find that when I am in a deep, deep meditation and I'm allowing myself to completely relax, it brings me that feeling again. The experience is not necessarily me floating or me looking at myself. Again, for me, it's the feeling. It's the feeling of being at peace. No matter what is going on, no matter what's going on out in the world, it's even more so important now to create that peace from within. And you create it. You create it with your mind, you create it with your breath, you create it by learning and being in tune with yourself. And I find the more you are in tune with yourself, the more you become in tune with others. Again, you're holding that compassion, but you're also able to spread that compassion. And the same thing when you're putting anything to practice. It is a practice. It is a practice. So I wanted to come in and finally finish up with the 8 limbs of yoga. And the Samadhi, it is a state of mind. It is a state of being at peace, a state of bliss. And however it takes, or whatever it takes for you to get there, it is manageable it's possible, but don't necessarily put that as a goal. Because I find, and again, when people do certain things and they put things as a goal, they miss the whole thing. They miss the journey. They miss the feeling along the way. So I don't think it's anything like specific, but again, it's a feeling. It's a state of being. It's a state of feeling. It's a state of being in the present moment. So yes, I hope this opens your perspective and gives you certain ideas. And again, just like how I say with the other 8 limbs of yoga, this is to deepen your yoga practice in a different way. This is to inspire. This is to help encourage those who are looking to deepen their yoga practice. And if you want more information, you want to book me, please visit my website, www.gettingmymojoback.com. Of course, I'm here on YouTube. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Instagram, Mojo the Motivator. I'm also on Facebook as well. Check out all my links below. And I will see you in the next video. Or if you're listening to my podcast, I will talk to you in the next podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.